At this time, I'm reliving the moment when I was able to celebrate the sacred mysteries. It is a year of remembering this year, and I'm hit today by these words from the Purgatory manuscript, which remind me and all of what we're doing when we approach the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. If only it were given you to understand how Jesus is treated with indifference and disdain upon earth, not only by ordinary people, how he is insulted, mocked, turned to derision, even by those who ought to love him. Thus it is that indifference is to be found in communities, amongst monks and nuns, his chosen people. In the very place in which he should be treated as a friend, a father, a spouse, he is much rather considered as a stranger. It is likewise to be found this indifference among the clergy. At present, more than ever before, Jesus is treated on equal terms. Now this was heard from a soul in purgatory in the year 1880 or so, but yet has a familiar ring about it, treating the Lord on equal terms. Those who ought to tremble at the thought of the august mission with which they have been charged, more often than not, go through it with coldness, even boredom. How many possess the spirit of interiority? Now, that absence would explain to some extent the casualties that followed the Second Vatican Council, because the documents in themselves coming from the Council Fathers were profound. They were spiritual documents and teachings, but that which applied to the liturgy in its application presumed one element: maturity coming from an interior life, that is, interiority. If that were there, any reform would have been done in the spirit of the centuries, and therefore of interiority, of which liturgy is the natural expression. Take away that interiority, and the consequences will be very human. And that is exactly what happened. So the problem is on that level, and it's still on that level to this day. Where there is interiority, there is good liturgy, because it is an expression of love. Hence it is that in a monastery, a good monastery, where Jesus is truly honoured and loved, and where there is deep interiority, the application of any reform is not a rupture. It is an expression of love in a slightly modified form. There is peace. A human application will be seen as inventive, a rupture, and the Holy Spirit is not able to be in charge. Therefore, what is in the depth comes out, and it can be seen from its fruits. So let's see where the real problem is and treat that. How many possess the spirit of interiority, she asks, from purgatory now? They are few and far between. Here in purgatory, the priests expiating their indifferences and their loveless lives are numerous. Their culpable negligences must be expiated by fire and tortures of all sorts. Judge from this how many the good Lord, who is so good, so loving towards his creatures, finds who love him and console him. How few they are. This is the great suffering of Jesus. And so it is that he puts now on people's hearts to make reparation with prolonged moments of adoration. But we must be aware how much his heart suffers from bad liturgy. Liturgy which has become human, precisely because the interior is lacking. I make a jump. Oh, how little understood is Jesus, his mercy, his love upon earth. Men seek to know, to deepen their knowledge about everything, except the one thing that constitutes true happiness. How sad it all is. This also could explain what happened centuries ago in the Reformation, which actually was a revolution, a true rupture. What started with lights for reform became soon a movement of independence. And we have an intuition given through Blessed Seraphim, the foundress of the angels, the Order of the Angels, the sisters which are dedicated especially to honouring the angels, that Martin Luther did not have a good end, precisely because this independence had come in, which would not have come in had there been precisely this gentle interior mode of listening to God through the voice that is authentically his. We can't block out by large volumes of noise the truth and get away with it. It's the same in any dialogue. A person who raises his voice is blocking out all others, including that of the Holy Spirit. And so it is that in Rome there are two altars close to each other, one where he celebrated his last Mass before going away from the church, but with the same grace inside him, that of the sacred priesthood. And he's still a priest now, wherever he is. And that of the first Mass of St. Maximilian Kolbe. And when in Rome I pleaded with St. Maximilian to get me to the priesthood, that was the first time round in Rome, when not a priest, and there were so many obstacles. And the obstacles continued. And even after being transferred to Sant'Antimo, an avalanche of problems came from Ireland and so on. It was almost demonic. Eventually, to the intervention of Padre Pio, the obstacles were suddenly removed, and I was able to be ordained, and very quickly sent back to Rome to do more studies. And I celebrated one of my first Masses at the altar where St. Maximilian Maria Kolbe had celebrated his fast. And I thanked him because I had pleaded hard that he would get me there. altar of St. Maximilian Kolbe's first Mass. It's also the altar where Our Lady appeared to Alphonse Ratisbonne, the Jew, at which he was converted. Thou didst bid be, good saint, what shall here be tomorrow on this stone, this place thine own, where on a day of days eternity stood for a moment still. 'Twas here 'twas known, the mystery, history ne'er unmade, the hour of passing charged sounds of unbound rays, magnetic, energetic, where a power here crossed and tossed the laws of ancient days. O hail, high morn, high dawn, here long, long side. And hail, true body, made of syllable and whisper heard before. Hail, friend that cried, hid angel but prayed well, for terrible indeed the deed that bid not be this mark, and 'twould not be. Did God well, Satan, ha.